Hello and welcome back to Down the Track. I have with me my co-host Abraziz, and we will be dissecting the India versus South Africa second Test match. We're a day late. No, we didn't go into depression or anything. Just both of us are a bit busy, but it was a great chase. I have to say, I did not expect that. I was predicting India to win. I also had them slight favorites, even though Abra had told us 60-40 South Africa's favor. I thought, it's 55 in India's favor, but a fantastic chase led by their captain, Dean Elgar, showed a lot of guts, and his teammates supported him really well. Don, your first thoughts on this game and this win for South Africa?
Absolutely incredible. I mean, they were just phenomenal. I mean, Dean Elgar was such a warrior. Like you talk about the kind of innings that he played. He got a lot of body blows. You remember the likes of Pujara from earlier this year against Australia. A lot of those body blows. It's similar to that. He got hurt a few times, but he was just so determined and committed to getting South Africa across the line, and he knew that he had to do it in on day 4, because day 5 there was a lot of prediction of rain. So he knew he had to up the ante a little bit as well. And he, along with the fact that he was just not only was he looking to finish the game off, he was looking to finish the game off in day 4, which was phenomenal to see. He was like you mentioned, helped very well, supported very well by the likes of Temba Bavuma and Van der Dusen as well. Both of them, I think, played a very important part in their
Play, yeah.
chase. Sorry, I just lost my chain of thought. But fantastic performance for South Africa. I think criticism can be given to how India played throughout the Test match. I think the first innings the batting was poor. Second innings they batted a little bit better, but it was the likes of Pujara and Rahane. Criticism, even though they scored their 50s, I think a little bit of criticism should be given to them for the fact that they didn't go and score that 100 and make that chase. Like, instead of 240, if they had 300 to defend, that would have been a completely different situation. And for the first time, I think in 4 years, the Indian bowlers have let their team down. I think that the bowlers have been carrying this team splendidly over the past 3 to 4 years, always showing up. But I think the first time I thought it looked like a little bit of Bumrah on day 3 towards the end, Shami on day 4 a little bit. They look a little bit off color. I think one criticism I think of the captain would be that I think Ashwin was a little underused. I think they could have tried him a little bit more, especially when Shami and Bumrah were not working. So overall, hats off to South Africa. A few things for India to learn from this game.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned in terms of their batting, Pujara and Rahane should have contributed in the first innings, and definitely, how much did India score? Around 200. If they did contribute 50s in the first innings, or even 30, 40s, they could have got closer to that 300 mark, which are given in India the advantage. Having said that, a lot of people are saying the pitch got better to bat on. I don't agree with that. I felt that there was something in it in the pitch. On 240 was a very challenging score, but at the end, South Africa, it looked like they eased to victory, and that just shows that India kind of lost their lines and lengths. I think Bumrah wasn't himself. Shami as well was expensive. Siraj was not fit fully, and Shahzad Thakur, having done so good in the first innings, couldn't repeat that performance. So, I think very good point that both, the batting and bowling should have contributed better in both innings. And I wanted to ask you about the altercations between Pant and Van der Dusen. It's going viral on social media. And then I think also the Bumrah and Jansen, that's a bit less for some reason. I think people got, I don't know if they got offended or not, but when Pant said something about half brain or something like that, but I'm sure there was words from both ends. But what did you make of that? And do you think that's why they lost their wicket, or Bumrah lost his concentration, or vice versa?
I wouldn't go down to say as much as he would have lost his concentration because of that. I think he just wasn't able to find his line and length, and sometimes it happens for bowlers. Yes, it could be an additional motive, an additional factor because of the fact that he had that altercation with Jansen. But I think even the Van der Dusen and Pant one, I think as long as it's in the spirit of the game, I think it's fine. I think if you start getting a little too personal, that's where it gets a little bit tricky. We saw in the end. Once the game was almost wrapped up, there was a little bit between Elgar and Siraj as well. So these are all this part and parcel. You'll see the sledging. I mean,
The Rishabh Pant thing was coming because of that catch. It was gonna come, right? It was the catch he took of Van der Dusen in the first innings, which was debatable, and it looked like it didn't carry, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it was still given out because of inconclusive evidence, and he didn't review it. If he reviewed it, it might have been overturned. But I think that's why the sledging was coming, and Rishabh Pant gave it back to him also by wicket keeping. But my question is, do you think it affected Rishabh Pant? I felt that the ball before, when it hit him in the glove, that really affected him. The talk, maybe, I don't know if that really affected him.
I don't think so, because I think Pant has gotten this before in Australia as well, and I think he's performed brilliantly over there. It didn't affect him then. So and he's also played a lot of cricket since. So he's obviously gone on and
that
become
delivery,
captain.
I think, before.
Yeah, I think that's the challenge that you always have with someone like a Rishabh Pant. I've said this before also in the past. He's the kind of high risk, high reward kind of cricketer. So his risk will be high, but if he can win you 3 out of 10 games with his swashbuckling batting, he is more than capable of being there in that team for an extended period of time. Because you have the likes of Pujara, Rahane, Virat, KL. These guys are all these proper batsmen who you're expecting these high averages from Rishabh Pant. You're usually more often than not expecting either a hit out or get out, and that's kind of how he is as a player. Yes, those these kind of, how in the past he's been called about babysitter, and all these kind of things have all come across, and he's handled that very well. I don't think that this would have been a problem for Pant, or for that matter Bumrah as well. I don't think that these are the things that, because these guys are professional cricketers and have been playing cricket for a while now. These guys are almost coming into the category of experienced cricketers now for the Indian team, because Bumrah and Pant now have been playing for a while. So I don't think that these kind of attacks changed, but the fact that they didn't get their line and length right for Bumrah, and the fact that Pant went and played like this unacceptable shot, almost, to say, these kind of things will always creep in. But I think it was just a bad couple of days for Indian cricket. I think that they've done very, very well in the past. I think that they just something that they can learn from, and go out there and have a professional performance. Third one, they still have all to play for. Hopefully they can go out there, do what they did in the first test match more than what they did in the second test match. Virat coming back, hopefully that will help as well. So yes, it's unfortunate, because this is a good time to beat South Africa, but you've come up against a very, very determined South African side as well, so this is a good eye opener for them. They still have everything to play for at Centurion, and hopefully they can go out there and win.
Yeah, and it's kind of like a catch-22 situation that I'm in as well, because a lot of people say that he's that was reckless shot. He shouldn't be playing that. He needs responsibility. When he played with a bit more responsibility in the first innings, it was too slow, and he got out. One ball got his wicket, and also they say that how long of a rope are you going to give him because of that Gabba innings? But then I think that innings was once in a lifetime. I haven't seen an Indian player play innings like that. Even against England, he took India out of a very tough position in India when he hit Anderson reverse sweep for 6. So I don't know, it's for me, it's just that let the player be. If he's not informed, then you'll have to drop him. But I don't know if you can change his game.
It's natural instinct. You can't ever ask a player to go out of his natural instinct. If you do that, you're spoiling what a player can get, the value that the player is bringing to your team.
But Pujara kind of went out of his instinct in this game, and he actually succeeded to a certain extent.
But you can't expect a Pant to go against his instinct in the way, because he's not the kind of defender that you want. He's a number 6, number 7 batsman that either gets you out of a hole from 100 to 5, or gets you that 400, say 500 ka score. That's all he's going to do. He's not.
But you know what I suggest though? I suggest, if I would ever speak to him, is just speak with Adam Gilchrist. I think because he's that type of, he's a very aggressive batsman, right? Gilchrist, we saw our childhood, he smashed Indian attacks and all these attacks. So maybe see, I think what Gilchrist used to do, he had a very terrible time in 2005 in the Ashes, but then he came back and he retired on a high note. So I think going to him and seeing how do you maybe control that aggression kind of, and what balls to play at, what not to play at, because there will have to be a balance. Otherwise, what will happen is there will be too much pressure and he will be dropped. That's what will happen if it continues like this.
I agree. I think that's a fair shout, no doubt about that. But I think if you're going to back someone like Rishabh Pant, you have to expect this. Otherwise, if you think that you're not going to back someone like Rishabh Pant, then you play with a Saha, or you bring in whoever else is KS Bharat or
KS
someone like
Bharat,
comes in, because those are more their style of playing and their cricket is more like proper. He's a little bit out of the box kind of thing, a little bit like Mahendra Singh Dhoni, very unconventional style, but more often than not pays off.
Yeah, and let's just talk a bit about South Africa. I think apart from Dean Elgar, Bavuma, the batsman, did really well. Peterson, you mentioned also previously during the test that he looked so good. But that spell from Rabada kind of changed everything, huh? On the third day, when in the second innings, it kind of changed the whole game and it showed why he's a world-class bowler.
Absolutely phenomenal bowling. I think that there was a little bit of question, in the day one of the first test match, he was struggling to find his line and length as well, similar to how Bumrah was on day three. So these things will happen with bowlers, but what a player can do and come back and then provide these kind of spells that are really change the course of an innings completely, because that was the game changer. As soon as he started getting those couple of wickets over there, it just changed the whole course of the game. The big guys went out. Even after that, I think Vihari did a fantastic job to get them up to that 240 mark, because it could have very easily been 200, 210 all out.
Class innings.
That could have also happened. So credit to our boy Rabada, who goes out there and does a splendid job, and it was helped again, like I said, helped again with the likes of Jansen, who really found form in the second innings. He was bowling beautifully in the first innings. Second
you
innings,
didn't think he was going to play the second?
I almost got him out of the team. So
it happens, honestly. Even then, it wasn't good enough. Him and Mulder weren't good enough in the first test, but I think it's that height factor and also inexperience, right? He's learning. So I think,
and he had a very good first innings and second innings. Both innings, he bowled
and
very,
batted
very
well as well.
Batted well as well. So a complete turnaround for him. I think Jansen was good. I think even Olivier in the first innings was very good. I think the bowlers were backed with each other. They bowled with, because Lungi Ngidi had a comparatively from his first test match performance, I think he was relatively lower, but it didn't matter, because the likes of Olivier and Jansen really stepped up. So I'm really happy with the way the South African team is, because going to South Africa has always been a challenge. They've gone through a lot over the past 3-4 years. Some of their big name players have retired. Some of the other guys, younger guys, are stepping in. There's a lot of board issues and everything. So it's beautiful to see South Africa really go out there, pose a solid challenge to one of the best touring sides in the world at this point in time, with India, who've gone to Australia one, who've gone to England one. So this is for them to go out there and really put up a fight. It's not over yet. Maybe they'll still lose the series, but at least they're showing that kind of spirit that you want to see, which we finally saw on the fourth test on day three, that England is now showing. So you want to see, irrespective of you winning and losing is completely different, but you have to show and you go put a challenge out there, fight, and if you do that, you can just be proud of yourself. Sometimes you can just be outclassed by better talent, and that's not your fault. But if you show determination and grit to actually perform, you'll always come out with the win more times than not, and that's what South Africa proved today.
Absolutely. And your player of the match?
Oh, it's easy. Dean Elgar. There's no denying that. I mean, there's no two ways about it. Irrespective of how well the bowlers bowled and everything, I think the fact that Dean Elgar was out there, going there and getting those runs, 96 not out, I was very unfortunate to not get 100 in this kind of an innings. I wish he had 4 more runs to play and then score those 100 runs. But he'd be very happy with the way the team performed and his personal contribution to the team as well.
And it's crazy, he had this similar performance in the same test
2018
in 2018,
Joburg,
right?
Yep.
Yeah, same venue, but this time he saw it through and he made sure he didn't get out.
Unfortunately, he didn't get out last time too. It was just that he wasn't able to play like the innings that he wanted. I think wasn't he 83, 86 not out? I think he was 86 not out.
Was he?
I think he was stranded. I could be wrong. Let me check.
But I think Shardul Thakur comes close. If India won, he probably would have got the man
absolutely.
of the match.
100%, no doubt about it.
A class performance from him, and I think Dean Elgar, rightly so, man of the match. And you're checking. I think, to be honest with you, he might have got out.
Wait, let me see. T20. It's too far back. Never mind. I'm not going to be able to pull it.
No problem. But it just goes to show that he knew the conditions well, and I think he took it one step further. He made sure his team won. And also speaking to the partners, I think Bavuma and Van der Dusen before that, even Peterson, he spoke to them well. Markram, I think they communicated properly, and he got a job out of them. He was someone who stood there, and they scored the run. So I think that communication was vital. One last question on this match is not on this match, but we will have a preview. But who does Virat Kohli come in for?
Oh, that's going to be a really hard one. He was not out, 86 not out in 20. In 20,
he was not out.
I just found the scorecard.
So he just didn't have the partners.
He just didn't have partnership with anybody else, because I think Shami was on fire. I think he was, even if he's getting one or two balls, because I saw Monomokal first ball, Philander out in the second ball, stuff like that. So yeah. So anyway, coming back to this, who Virat Kohli comes in for is a very, very difficult question. I do believe Vihari got injured and had to leave the field towards the end of days.
Then it makes it easy.
So then it makes it easy, because if Vihari is.
But that was a class innings, man. That was a class innings.
Absolutely. I think it is, even though the fact that Pujara and Rahane scored 50s, I think the 40 that he added really was very important, because he added it with the tail, and he added it with a lot of maturity and a lot of class in that innings. So it's going to be extremely hard. But if all three are fit, I still think Vihari is going to have to give way, because I feel like the board, the coaching staff and the team has decided that, okay, this is your chance to prove it. You've already done a little bit. I want you guys to go out there, get those 100, so that you can continue to stake a claim. Otherwise,
what does a man have to do though to play like Vihari?
It's unfortunate. I really missed him in the last series as well. It was very, very unfortunate that he didn't get to play there as well. Shreyas Iyer gets a chance, scores 100. If Vihari was there, he'd probably be very happy with that chance as well. Well, these are things that you can't control, unfortunately. But he has a little bit more on his in terms of time, in terms of his age as well, than compared to like a Pujara and a Rahane. I do hope that he gets a chance. It is almost time for Pujara and Rahane to really score those big runs. Otherwise, it's the end of the road for them. There's too much competition in the Indian cricket team now to really keep giving too many players as much of a chance that Pujara and Rahane have got. I'm not taking anything away from the fact that they've been stellar players for Indian cricket, but I think if you have these kind of low years, unless you're a Virat Kohli, I don't think you can stake a claim for being out there for too long.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think the only other option is Mayank, because he also pulled something while fielding. So if he doesn't play, then maybe you put Pujara up and play Vihari. And
I think Vihari will open, because he's that kind of a player. He as much as KL Rahul is the namesake of the Rahul Dravid, I think that Vihari is the Rahul Dravid of the current Indian cricket team. I think he's gone out there. He does whatever the team. I think.
What about KL Rahul?
KL Rahul is great. KL Rahul is
he also wicket keeps.
He's also fair enough.
Now I'm confusing you.
Fair enough. I think that's fair. I think giving KL Rahul also, I said, and KL Rahul also has the same name, so it helps. But I think that Vihari, I think he's done a lot over the past couple of years to stake a claim to be a consistent player in the 11 for Indian cricket, along with the fact that he can give you a few overs of spin if you need it.
Yeah, 100%. I think that we'll do some previews, a couple of chats before the big finale. It all points out to an exciting end to the series, but I think, to be very honest with you, from an Indian perspective, they have to win. A loss will cause a lot of other consequences, and I think this is the best time to win a series in South Africa. If they don't, it's going to be very, very unfortunate, and there will be blame games and everything. I just hope that India do put on a good performance, but it's not going to be easy. Like me and you have been mentioning this throughout, that South Africa are here to play. They might not have their, the biggest players, but they're here to play, and they have a quality bowling lineup despite missing Nokia.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, and just to wrap up, I'm going to put you under fire right now, under the grill. David Warner gets dropped from Sunrisers, and he's.
Why do you keep bringing him back? Like, I think I keep trying to forget it, and you keep bringing him back.
Rashid Khan is gone, and he's been killing it in T20s. And then Johnny Bairstow, he's the only English player to score 100 in the Ashes this series, if I am not mistaken. And he's also not been retained by Sunrisers. So my question to you is, how did you enjoy Johnny Bairstow's innings? Would it have been better if he was still in the Sunrisers? Or
I think he's the kind of player.
But in general,
I think he's the kind of player you can still buy back. I think that I think that you of course you
might. Why wasn't he retained?
Because there are better options out there, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. I have full faith.
But a class innings, huh?
Absolutely. I mean, this is the kind of fight I spoke about this just a little bit before as well. You can lose 5-0, but if you kind of if England go out there and lose this game, I would be okay. They at least showed some fight. There was some fight. You're 36 for 4. These things happen in Test cricket. You have to. That's why it's Test cricket. That's why it's 5 days. You can get away with one bad session. You just have to apply yourself and try really hard to go out there and improve yourself, right? And that's what they did. The likes of Bairstow, the like Johnny Bairstow, went out there. Now they are in a position. Okay, you know what? It's day 3. Now they are in a position to at least draw the game. Even if they lose after this, it's fine. At least one good day of cricket they should. It took them 16 days to do it, but at least they did it now finally. Not even 16, 18 days if you consider the fact that it's three matches of 5 days plus this is the third day. So if this was on day 2 or day 3, there were very very different results. They could have drawn one, maybe sneaked one, and it would have been a 1-0 result going into the final game or something. There's more to look forward to. And this is the Ashes that we're talking about. It's not like we're not talking about like a regular bilateral Zimbabwe versus Scotland test match or something like that. This is the Ashes. This is the most priced test series out there because India and Pakistan doesn't play test matches, so it doesn't count. But this is the biggest rivalry in test matches that's out there, and it's been going on for 50-70 years now. So the kind of lack of intent that England have showed has been unfortunate. Coming back to the game, beautiful century by Bairstow, a lovely 50 by Stokes as well, even though he was somewhat injured. But I don't understand what the people need to do to get him out because he was clean bowled and the bail didn't move. That's unbelievable.
That was insane.
Unbelievable. It was a fast
You saw his
140.
reaction?
It was 143. It was not like a slow delivery or something. It's unbelievable.
And he was, I think he got his chances. But one thing I would say that he batted with a side strain, which he picked up, I think, an injury he picked up while bowling. So, if he can do that while being injured, imagine what they missed out in the last couple of games. But I think for Stokes, it's been a rough end to 2021. The last 6 months have been very difficult for him. So I think he will get back into it. It'll take him a few series to come back to full thing, and hopefully in the T20 World Cup and the big series coming up, he will perform. But I think overall a good fighting performance from England. It's still up backs against the wall because there's 3 wickets, and then you expect Australia to bat a bit, and then you have the whole of day 5. So unless it rains, you still back Australia in this game.
Oh yeah, I think they still have the upper hand unless Johnny can actually go out there and score a few more. Who knows? He's still not out. So if he can score a few more, bring that deficit down to as much as possible, then a draw is still possible. Who knows? Maybe they can get Australia out really quickly and try to go for it. I don't think that's still a possibility for England. But all 3 results still possible. That's all I'll say.
3 results still possible. And from Australia, I just wanted to quickly mention Boland, another world-class performance. Unfortunately, got injured, but the start to his spell was outstanding.
It took him 6 overs to give away 1 run. His first 5 overs were maidens, and he got 2 wickets in that. Unbelievable, man. And apparently there was about 53 balls that they went without scoring a run or something. So sometimes that kind of grit is needed. Yes, it can be for the records and everything. But these are the kind of situations you want to get yourself out of, especially after you had a poor start. Get yourself out of these situations, and then the runs will come. And you saw that eventually, once they got out of that phase, both they had a few knocks to the fingers and stuff like that. A few balls that went fizzing across their face. But as soon as they were able to get out of that, a run started flowing. And this is with Australia. You get them tired, you'll get the runs towards the end of the day. Because they come with their tails up every game. Tomorrow also in the morning, in the first hour, they will have the tails up. If you can somehow manage to not give away wickets, it's very important. And then you'll see that runs will be easier to score as the day goes along.
And Australia, they get frustrated quicker than other teams. So you have to take advantage of that. And that's something England haven't done. But I would just say for you, it's, Poland, this is his second test match?
Yeah.
He's older to both of us, and he just started his career, so we can still play for our at least for our IPL franchises.
Yeah, I don't think so. If you see me as a person, and if you see like I have a bouncer stomach and stuff like that, that's gonna be hard.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that wraps it up to really good games. I mean, it was a really good game, the India-South Africa. This is also turning out to be a decent game. Hopefully, we see more of a fight. Hopefully, Bairstow can convert that to a 150, but it's a long stretch. So let's see what happens. And just very lastly, why haven't the 2 IPL teams announced their players yet?
समझ में नहीं आ रहा रे भाई, गुस्सा आ रहा मेरे को.
There's
So
no reason,
irritating.
right?
There's no reason at all. It makes no sense. I read somewhere about because of the fact that Ahmedabad has this scam issue that they're trying to
I thought that was
prove.
resolved.
I thought so too because but there was another file that was submitted, another complaint was raised, another file was submitted about it or something like that. So
Yes.
maybe that's the reason. But at least Lucknow should inform their teams because I'm pretty sure they have their players ready because it's KL Rahul, Rashid Khan, and this guy. What's his name? David Warner. So
No way, David Warner's the third guy?
no, I'm just saying. I don't know.
You're
There's a lot
kidding
of
me,
it,
man.
but apparently David Warner has been reached out by the Lucknow team. I don't know if he's agreed to taking that third position, but he has been reached out. So it'll be interesting to see if that's your three. You have your two openers and you have a solid bowler. You're already sorted. Imagine David Warner and KL Rahul coming out to bat, man. What the hell? That's like unfair.
Yeah, if those three, I'll be shocked. But yeah, hopefully we'll get everybody the latest with that once we get the teams announced, and we'll play around with it and like see what are the possibilities for each franchise who they can buy. It's going to be a fun auction, but yeah, we'll just have to be a bit more patient.
Exactly
on
1
that
month to
end.
go. Feb 7th, we'll have our first auction.
Yeah, until then, we just have to enjoy the Test cricket, and hopefully, once we get the names, then we can slowly start playing around with it and discuss the possibilities and who can buy who, basically.
Yes, sir, indeed.
Thank you so much for joining me, and I will catch you before the third test.
Yeah, for sure. Take care.
Take care.